Story so far.
I'll see you tomorrow. Break that case, you be there.
He wants to fight me. Are you kidding?
You be there.
It's like the Americans in Vietnam, isn't it? They found that being larger and more powerful than your opponents doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Chief Running Water says that if you think about it, there is another choice.
Okay, let's get him. I think you should come and see this. Oh, wow! You have 200 unconscious bodies in there, Jeff. How could it be worse?
Well, they're going to come round, aren't they? In about 10 minutes.
My bag! He's taken my bag! He's taken my bag!
Is it short?
Did you see that? Yes. Yes, I did.
Stuart.
Hi, Bobby. I thought we should talk.
Would you like my address?
Yes. Yes, I would. I'd like that very much.
Licat volaris super tergum Aquila volat. Licat volaris super tergum Aquila volat.
How much longer is this going to take?
Any second now.
Because I thought we were going to the Canary Islands to see the finals of the women's beach volleyball. That's why I borrowed the Polaroid. What?
Here they come.
Oh.
I told you.
You told him about Tom?
Well, yes.
Your first date with a man in 8 years, and you tell him you have a 13-year-old son back at home.
Well, it was the truth.
The truth is no basis for a relationship, Pam. Don't you remember anything?
Well...
The less he knows about you, the more chance there is that he'll like you. You didn't have to tell him about Tom any more than you tell him about that bowel operation you just had. Oh, you didn't?
He said he was interested.
They can't see us.
Oh, this is 1600 years ago, Tom. They're dead.
Right. Who's he?
Oh, that's our Centurion. It was his skeleton we found next to Aquila in the cave. He's just got out of the cockpit, and now he goes forward to... Oh, 1 second. That gives us a translation of what they're saying. The Centurion says hello, you see, and the other guy asks him what he's doing out here. And so he says he's looking for his dog he's lost, called Boo Boo.
And what's that?
That says if any of them's lying or not. If it swings to the red, it means... Hang on. Here we go. Oh, now watch this. This is the bit you want to see. I told you it was worth waiting.
I'm not saying you tell lies, you just don't tell him all of the truth.
Right.
It doesn't matter how strong the attraction is.
Oh, and it is.
What?
The attraction is very strong. If we get close enough...
It doesn't matter how strong it is. If you want this to work, you have to be detached, calm. You have to act as if you're not really interested.
Right. Hello? Oh. Oh, Alan. Yes, I'd love to see you. Well, as soon as possible. I'm free all the time, really. That'd be fantastic. Yes. I'll see you then. Bye. He's taking the day off work. He'll be round in 10 minutes. What am I going to do?
I think you should start with a cold shower.
And all this happened...
394 AD. 4th of May, 10:25 AM. It's all recorded, you see. On this. It's sort of a black box. A flight recorder.
But it's green, and it's an egg.
Yes, I know.
Everything Aquila did is recorded on this.
Everything for the last 1600 years.
Wow.
It's not as interesting as you'd think. The Centurion died 4 days after the bit I've shown you, so most of you get hundreds of years of Aquila sitting in a black cave, until we turn up.
It's recorded us.
Everything we've ever done. Which reminds me, you used to loan me for that fizzy orange I bought you in Fiji.
If the Centurion died 4 days after he stole the treasure, I wonder what he did with it.
Well?
I mean, he wouldn't have had time to spend it, would he? He'll have hidden it somewhere, and if he did, it could still be there.
You're getting there, aren't you?
All we have to do is play this forward until we find where he put it, and then we go and look for it.
Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple.
Look at him.
You remember what I said, Pam? Play it cool.
Right.
You are controlled, you are self-contained. And you let him know if he wants anything from you, he's going to have to work for it.
Right.
Hello, Pam.
Hello, Alan.
I got you these.
Oh, thank you. Oh, grief.
What's not simple about it? You just play the next bit.
A recording egg lasts for roughly 1600 years, right? Right. And after that, you're supposed to put in a new egg. If you don't, it goes back to the beginning and starts recording over the stuff that's already there.
So...
Yesterday morning, when I found the stuff about stealing the coins, it was the oldest stuff in the egg. I went home for lunch, and by the time I came back in the evening, it had recorded over the next 5 hours. All the stuff about hiding the coins. It's gone.
Didn't he come back? You know, some other time, to get some of it.
He spent the next 4 days staying with some women in Cirencester. And then he came back to the cave, and then he died.
Hang on. If the robbery bit's been wiped, how come you just showed it to me?
I didn't. Well, not exactly. What you saw wasn't the original recording. What you saw was the recording of me yesterday, sitting in Aquila, watching the recording. But I can't wind it onto the bit where the Centurion hides the coins, because I didn't watch that bit.
Right. And what are we doing here?
You'll need your boots.
Oh.
I haven't been skating since I was a girl. I hope you're not expecting me to... Tom, I thought you were out with Jeff.
I come to get some boots.
Oh. Well, I'd like you to meet Alan. He's the man who rescued my bag last week. You remember I told you about him? This is my son, Tom.
Pleased to meet you, Tom. I'm Alan Pritchard.
Alan is a... What is it you do again, Alan?
Research chemist. You must meet my son, Dunstan.
Your son?
Yes, he's a little bit younger than Tom.
I didn't know you were married.
Divorced.
Oh.
He comes to my house at weekends. Perhaps you'd like to join us one day.
I'm sure Tom would love that, wouldn't you, Tom? Yes, well, I'll see you for lunch at 1 o'clock. I'll be late.
So that was Alan, was it?
Yep.
Seemed a nice chap.
You think so? I didn't like him.
realised the most likely place had to be the cave. If that's where he hid Aquila, why wouldn't he hide everything else there?
The professor didn't find anything.
I know.
And he was digging for ages.
But he was using little trowels, wasn't he? We've got Aquila. Turn on a laser, fire a couple of star shells, and we're through 40 feet of rock. No problem. If there's anything there, we can find it.
Tom, Jeff, what are you doing here?
Hello, Professor.
We were passing and thought we'd come and find out what was happening.
Well, it's very good to see you.
We didn't think you were still here.
You wrote to say you hadn't found anything and you were leaving.
2 months ago.
Yes, well, we are. It's just one or two clearing up things, making notes, checking everything's been put back the way it should.
I see.
We were wondering if we could have a look down in the cave.
Sadly, that won't be possible. It's become very unsafe, you see. We don't let anyone down there. We don't even go down ourselves.
All set, John, if you want to look at it before you... Oh, I'm sorry.
Apart from some specially trained staff. You remember Tom and Jeff, Allison? I was explaining to them how dangerous it is to go down into the cave.
Oh, yes, it is very, very dangerous indeed.
He was lying, wasn't he?
Seemed that way to me.
Well, it should be easy enough to check. It's over here.
Right.
If one of us goes back to the professor and asks him outright if he's found anything in the cave, the other one can watch his answer with this.
Okay, but I have to be back by 1 o'clock, remember? You know how upset Mum gets when I'm late.
Alan.
Pam.
John?
Tom?
Mum, are you in?
One moment, darling. Hello, dear. Oh, we weren't expecting you until... Oh, it is. Well, that's very good timing, because Alan has kindly offered to take us all out to lunch.
I've already eaten.
What?
That's what I came to say. I've had lunch and I'm going back out with Jeff.
You are not going anywhere without my permission, young man. And if Alan is kind enough to offer...
Maybe if Tom's already eaten, I could offer you tea instead.
Sorry?
This afternoon. If I met you both at the Grosvenor Hotel at 4 o'clock.
Oh, that would be lovely.
But I have to be.
We shall look forward to it, Alan. We'll see you at 4 o'clock. Both of us.
Good. Oh, I must be off. Got to see a man about a dog.
I'll see you out. Why are you being so rude?
Because I don't like him.
So we know the professor is lying. We know he's found something, but we don't know what it is. Is it the treasure? Who does it belong to if it is? Are we entitled to a share of it? And how are we supposed to find out when he just says there's nothing there at all?
When we confront him.
What?
We tell him we know he's lying and then we can prove it.
Are you sure that would...
Here, I'll show you something.
Where are we?
This is this morning. I'm going to get the boot, see? Look at that. I'm Alan Pritchard. He's lying.
Oh.
A research chemist, he's lying. I didn't know you were married, divorced, he's lying. He comes to my house. It's not his house, he's lying. He's lying the whole time.
Wow. He's very good at it, isn't he?
I knew I didn't like him.
What are you doing?
First we get some evidence. We found out where he lives and what he really does. Then we take some photos.
What, now?
Well, what's wrong with now?
Oh, the professor. The treasure. I mean, you saw it. We're talking about a lot of treasure here.
Which is more important, Jeff? The fact that my mother's gone out with a pathological liar or finding a few gold coins?
I'm not supposed to say the coins, am I?
You needn't worry. I'll be finished by 4 o'clock. You'll still have time to see the professor.
4 o'clock?
It's a promise.
He's back. Jeff Reynolds. He says he's got some questions to ask you.
Ah.
I could send him away.
No, that's all right. Jeff, good to see you again so soon. What can I do for you?
Well...
Yes?
Well...
Jeff, you've obviously got something on your mind. I think the best thing is for you to come right out and say it.
Well, you told us this morning that you didn't find anything here. But we know that's not true. And I think you should be a bit more honest with us.
So sorry we're late, Alan.
Oh, not at all. I ordered a few things. I hope that's all right.
It looks wonderful. Would you excuse me for a moment? If you remember, I get a bit after my operation.
Oh, yes, of course. It's just down the corridor.
Oh, shan't be a minute. You behave yourself.
Do have whatever you want, Tom. And if there's anything else you prefer, you've only to say.
I'm not hungry, thank you.
Right. Tom, if you've got something on your mind, I really think the best thing would be to come out and say it.
I don't have anything to say.
No?
I'm trying to work out the best time to show my mother these. That's your real name. It's on the register of births at the Family Records Centre. That's the factory where you work. You're not a research chemist. That's the house you live in, which you don't own. And that's the woman you live with, Mrs. Pritchard.
Can I ask how you know all this?
Does it matter? Professor, we're the ones who found the cave. We just want to know the truth.
Ah, the truth.
Yes.
Did you know that in southern Nepal, one of the native words for truth means an elephant surrounded by blind men? The idea is, you see, that it's very difficult to take in something like an elephant if all you can do is feel the bit in front of you. One blind man has a leg, another a trunk or a tail, and each of them thinks that what he has is an elephant, but he only has a part of it. The truth is a very large elephant, Jeff. Which bit of it did you want?
I wanted the bit about the money.
Of course. This way. I suppose you saw us bringing this up this afternoon and thought there might be something valuable inside.
Isn't there?
See for yourself. This is an aureus from the reign of the Emperor Constantine.
How much is it worth?
On its own, at auction, in mint condition like that, £500–600.
And how many are there?
We haven't counted yet. But if this box is anything like the others, probably 4,000 or 5,000 coins.
You've found more than one box?
Oh, yes. So far, we've brought up 33.
OK, let's start with this one. I was christened, as the document says, Percival Ivanhoe Pritchard. Now, believe me, Tom, that is not a name to go to school with. When I was 5, I decided my name was Alan, and that's what I've been ever since. This is the factory where, you're quite right, I make chemical toilets. Now, they're very good chemical toilets, the best in the world. But when people ask me what I do, I find it saves a lot of silly jokes if I tell them I'm a research chemist. And this is the house I'm living in until my divorce is finalised, and where I am the guest of this woman, Mrs. Pritchard, who is my mother. Now, you're very welcome to show these to anyone you like, Tom, but I'm not sure they'll have the effect you wanted.
We found it 2 months ago. Those are some of the bullion chests. But there were mugs, jugs, plates, jewellery, statues, clothes, 2 mosaic floors. It was like Ali Baba's cave. I'm sorry we couldn't tell you. But if the slightest word had got out, we'd have had every metal detector in Europe round our ears. We didn't dare tell anyone. We're nearly finished now, and when we've got everything secured, we'll have a press conference. You'll come to that, of course.
How much is it worth, altogether?
It's not easy to say. The bullion's simple enough. That's around 4 or 5 million. But I think the statues are probably the most valuable item.
Really?
If this was sculpted by Hieronymus, and I'm pretty sure it was, it's worth $500,000 on its own. We found 14 of them. Altogether, we have to be talking about 60 million, but it could easily be double that.
And me and Tom don't get any of it?
I'm afraid not.
Nothing at all?
Well, the law is very straightforward. As I explained, anything found in the ground belongs to the person who owns the land, in this case, Mr. Evans, the farmer.
So you don't get anything either?
Not directly, no, but thanks to you, I get to be the man who's excavated possibly the most important archaeological find of the century. And believe me, that's worth a lot more than money. Well, nearly.
Very few of us tell all of the truth, Tom. Mostly we tell people what they need to know. We miss out the bits they can do without. These are just bits of the truth I left out because they're not important. Do you want to know what the important bit is? The important bit is that I've waited all my life to meet someone like your mother. And now that I've found her, I promise you, I would never knowingly do anything to hurt her or anyone close to her.
Sorry I took so long. Oh, they had this motorised lavatory roll that wouldn't turn off. Kept pouring paper onto the floor and I... Is everything all right?
Fine. Tom and I were having a discussion about whether you should always tell the truth or not.
Oh, and what did you decide?
Well, we thought the best option was 100% honesty all the time. Didn't we, Tom?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Oh, isn't that nice?
$60 million.
That's what he said, possibly double.
We don't get any of it.
Nothing, apart from this. Professor said he found 4 of them down in the cave, but he didn't know what they were. I've run through the first couple of 100 years, and all they're doing is building a pyramid. It's quite a big pyramid.
60 million.
So what do you want to do today? Stay here, go home, fly somewhere?
I don't know.
Well, there's one way to find out.
What are you doing?
Don't worry. All you have to do is answer the questions. Now, would you like to stay here all day?
Not particularly.
Correct. Would you like to fly somewhere hot and go for a swim?
Not particularly.
Aha. Try again. Would you like to spend the day on that beach we found in Canary Islands?
Possibly.
Good. Now we know what you want to do. Grab a towel. Everything sorted out with Alan, is it?
And what do you mean?
He explained everything about where he lived and what he did in that.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
But it doesn't make any difference. I still don't like him.
Say that again.
I said I still don't like him. What's so funny?
The truth is an elephant, Tom.
What?
And sometimes a blind man holds no more than a tusk.